Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a entry in the Glashütte Original Spezialist collection. This is the SeaQ Panorama date, and this is the 2022 green dial, green bezel variant. And of course, the original SeaQ Panorama date came out in 2019, and if it is a direct rival to anything in this industry, I would compare it most directly to the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, and that is heady competition indeed, a real compliment to the quality of this watch. Taking a quick look at its size, it is large like the 50 Fathoms. In stainless steel, this is 43.2 millimeters in diameter, 15.9 millimeters thick. It's 51.5 millimeters from lug to lug. If you include the end links of the bracelet, the total distance across the wrist is a beefy 53.2 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, I can wear this watch, but I do believe you should wear this watch on a wrist my size or larger. You can see down the barrel, I don't have a whole lot of clearance on each side. The lugs are very close to overlapping the edge of my wrist. They're not there, but they're close. And you can see in profile, it will fit underneath some jacket cuffs. It's not an ultra thin watch, but nor does it have a particularly salient hang up. That bezel's fairly recessed. It shouldn't cause a sleeve to get caught up. It has a hefty and reassuring weight to it. The bracelet is solidly made. You can see there's an end link that integrates the bracelet into the case. And then we have polished primaries, and then we have satin finished shoulders. You can appreciate that the watch includes removable links for every single link. So every link is removable, which means the bracelet is entirely sizable. And then, of course, because this is probably made by Brogioli, it uses this push-button incremental slider system, so you have 10 millimeters of incremental adjustment just by pushing down the Geo logo on the buckle. It is a single fold deployant made of thick gauge steel, and then it only opens when you press both triggers positively. One trigger is not enough, pulling is not enough. You must press and pull. Rolling over the case, it is inspired by a late 60s reference that was created as the brand's first ever dive watch. And while there is a SeaQ that is much more faithful to that original from, I believe, 1967, this watch right here is designed to read as a modern watch that's loosely inspired by history. This is not a re-edition. Taking a quick look, you can see the crown is shouldered. It has shouldered crown guards. It is a screw down. The watch is 300 meters water resistant. Let's hear the bezel. With Rolex and, let's say, Cartier's Calibre de Cartier diver being a 10 out of 10 for a 120-click bezel, I would say this is solidly an 8 out of 10. It's definitely an asset to the watch. The bezel sounds good, it feels good, and being 120-click, you can place it very precisely. Let's take a quick look here. You can see that there is a fully loomed bezel pearl, and that all three hands on the dial are luminescent, which should be the case with every dive watch, but for some reason, a lot of dive watches omit the loomed seconds hand. I think you should always know whether your watch is running. One of the few vintage cues here is that we have a domed sapphire designed to create the off-axis distortion you'd find with a plexi, but all modern materials, it is a sapphire crystal, and we do have a ceramic bezel insert. The dial is matte, so almost a very finely textured media blasted type of matte with all applique indices and numerals, and we have a broad arrow style minute hand like we would have had in antiquity. The watch features a fascinating case design. This is where it is most similar to its late 60s forebearer. It has minimal beveling on the edge of the case. We have a relatively narrow case band and then vertical satination on the flanks with sort of circular satination across the lug-cuts. Again, the case design is where this really does most directly channel what I believe was the RPTZ 200 of the late 1960s. Now, the dial also includes a panorama date, which is the outsized date, the panorama datum. We'll quickly roll through to see if we're in the date change danger zone. You can see we were actually, so it's good. It's a good thing I advanced before using the quick set, but the quick set is lots of fun because it is a double-digit, double-disc date. Now, we also have a hacking or stop seconds function should you desire to set the watch against a reference time. Taking a look at the reverse side, this is the caliber 39 family that originally debuted in 2016 on the Senator Excellence, and this is a pretty involved movement. It was the first use of a silicone hairspring for the brand. It has a superior power reserve of 100 hours, and it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, adjusted in 6 positions, not the chronometer standard of 5. Glashütte Original boasts that this meets and exceeds German chronometer standards, and I guess that's an appropriate judge of a German-made watch. You will note that there are some artisanal elements there, as we have a reduction wheel for the winding system that includes multiple snailing. We have a black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism, and although fine adjustment can be performed with the swan's neck, this is actually a free sprung balance, so most of the fine tuning of the timing is going to be done with variable inertia bolts on the balance itself. The movement is extraordinarily precise and also very modern, and it's properly sized to suit a large watch like this one. You can see Glashütte stripes across the bridges, you can see polished screws, you can see satination on wheels. There is quite a bit to love in the finish of this movement, which combines elements of mechanical and manual finishing technique. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.